everyone, this is Colleen Lemma, Starseed Astrologer and Spiritual Messenger from SacredSoulEmpowerment.com, here to do your weekly angel card reading for Monday, July 24th through Sunday, July 30th, 2017. For this week's weekly reading, we're going to be using the Syrian Starseed Tarot by Patricia Corey and Alyssa Bartha for the main message. And your message, depending on your stone of choice this week, is going to be coming from the Archangel Oracle card deck, which is by Doreen Virtue. So before we start, as far as the astrology for the week and getting into the messages, I do want to first of all say that I've very recently done a new Soul Reflections video. And that is up and published on my channel, my YouTube channel under Colleen Lemma. So if you'd like to hear the spiritual messages, the information that I have imparted through my own self-contemplation of the series of events, the circumstances, the energies that we're moving through as a result of the last couple of months, the last few weeks, then I ask that you go and take a look at that Soul Reflections video. Now let's go ahead and take a look at your stones of choice. Your first stone of choice is called chiastolite. If you can get a good look of the chiastolite, it's actually a brown stone, but it has black markings on it, and the black markings are always in the form of an X. And they're on both sides of the stone, although I think you can see it on the one side better than the other, and there might be a reflection from the window nearby here. But the chiastolite is a very powerful protective stone. It's a stone from ancient times, ancient energies, and it helps to dispel negative thoughts, negative feelings. It helps transmute all lower vibrational energies, and it's considered a stone of death and rebirth, and it's a stone that is the gateway to the mysteries of life. So again, this is chiastolite. Your second stone of choice is called desert rose selenite. Now, selenite by itself is a very high vibrational stone and is a little bit more translucent than this. So again, this desert rose selenite, it helps to dissolve self-imposed programs. It helps to release those negative programs that are self-imposed, and it helps us to find more appropriate replacement. So in effect, it helps to replace negative belief systems or programs with something much more positive and in alignment with who you are and where you're going. It helps to also strengthen your affirmations of purpose as far as your life path and your destiny path. Your last stone of choice is ruby zoisite. And again, depending on the lighting here, this is actually, zoisite is a green stone, and so it's the green part of the stone is the zoisite, but the little flecks of the red there is the ruby. So it's actually two different stones. The ruby is within the zoisite. And ruby zoisite is a stone that helps to activate the crown chakra. It creates an altered state of consciousness. It helps to assist and access your soul memory and assists with the soul healing of that soul memory from past lives. So it's really good with working with your past lives as far as healing them is concerned. It helps to promote individuality while at the same time helps you to retain that interconnectedness with humanity. So again, this is the ruby zoisite. Now, I think all three of these stones, I picked them just totally randomly. I just opened a container of the stones that I brought with me into my new place here, and I just really quickly opened and intuitively picked three of them before I looked them up to get an idea of what they were all about. So I picked some really powerful stones this week, and I feel like I want to pick all three stones for my special message. But if you can, try to zone in on at least one as your most favorite and see what your message is here a little bit later on. So let's start by talking about the astrology for the week. On Monday, July 24th, we start out with Venus, the planet of love and relationships, and Venus also rules money and finances, as well as our values. And Venus is in Gemini right now. Gemini is a very mutable, changeable, logical kind of sign. So not necessarily the best placement for Venus, but it's, not bad either. Now, Venus in Gemini is opposing Saturn and Sagittarius on Monday. So Saturn is always about lessons or trying to teach us something through patience or slowing things down for us in order for us to get what it is we're supposed to before moving forward. So I feel like with this Venus opposing Saturn on Monday, we might actually have some sort of, maybe some minor challenges or lessons regarding some relationships in our lives. Now, this isn't just about romantic relationships because Venus does rule the divine feminine. This could very well be relationships with women in our lives. So it could be our mothers, our sisters, our friends, if you're a female, and even if you're a male, the same being true. Venus ruling finances, again, this could be a delay. It could cause some sort of delay with the incoming of some sort of finances or the manifestation of something that you think is coming. And again, it's just a delay. It's just about, setting things up so that they're in better alignment, or teaching us to have patience, or to teach us to create a more solid foundation before we move forward, to pay attention to the details that we might need to before taking the next step. So I don't think it's necessarily a huge negative, but know that this may play out with other people and with other organizations, situations, people outside of us because of that opposition. Now on the same day, Mercury is in a positive connection to Uranus. Mercury rules the mental realm, so our ideas, our thoughts, the way we communicate, and it's in this positive connection with Uranus at the 28th degree because Uranus is stationed right now at 28 degrees of Aries. And actually Mercury moves so fast that it's going to connect with Uranus in a positive way, and then it's going to move through that 29th degree of Leo that Mercury is in right now, and before moving into the next sign, which is going to be on Tuesday, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But Mercury in Leo is very creative. It's very inspiring. It's very leadership oriented with its ideas and its communication. And I feel like that positive connection to Uranus is just going to heighten that energy because Uranus is higher mind energy. It's the higher God mind energy. So it is inspiration. It's divine inspiration, spiritual inspiration. And again, it's about the unexpected, the unusual, something that's different or something that's independent. So I really feel like that's going to be a very positive connection, especially if you're writing or speaking or teaching or brainstorming or, again, coming up with ideas as far as what you want to do, the future path that you're on. Now on Tuesday the 25th, this is where Mercury changes signs. It's moving out of Leo now and it's moving into Virgo. Virgo is one of the signs that Mercury rules in the zodiac. Mercury rules both Gemini and is said to rule Virgo as well. So Mercury in Virgo is going to be very comfortable there, but it's about really analyzing things. That's what Virgo is all about. So the mind and our thoughts, we're going to be much more critical or I don't know if I want to say decisive, but we're going to be much more paying attention to the details, the everyday details, picking things apart, understanding things, every little nuance, analyzing every little thing. Sometimes it can get a little bit carried away with doing this, being overly logical or overly critical about things, or wanting to really overly logically understand something when we're moving into a time here that we have to have more and more faith and more trust. So sometimes Mercury in Virgo can get a little bit hung up. But Mercury is going to be in Virgo for a little while, about 3 weeks or so. I didn't write it. No, actually, it's going to be in Virgo for quite a long time because now I just recall that we're going to have a Mercury retrograde coming up in the month of August. So Mercury is going to go retrograde in Virgo, and actually it's going to retrograde back to the 28th degree of Leo, which is where it is on Monday the 24th, connecting with Uranus, which is interesting, before it turns back direct. So actually Mercury in Virgo is going to last much longer than it normally would. Normally Mercury goes through a sign in about 3 weeks, but because of this Mercury retrograde we have coming up, it's actually going to be in Virgo probably for 5 or 6 weeks. Now, this, again, even though Mercury retrograde can sometimes be challenging, this is probably a good place for it to be retrograde, because this is where we're going to really go within and, again, start to understand things on a deeper level. We're going to pay attention to, again, those next steps that we need to take. And Mercury retrograde is going to make sure that we don't miss any of those steps. That's why it's going to kind of slow us down as far as moving forward, because we need to, again, go over, research, redo, reevaluate some of the plans or ideas that we have before settling in and moving forward. So there's more information that's coming to light with Mercury retrograde in Virgo before we actually settle in on any particular path or any particular decision. Now on Wednesday the 26th, the Sun is going to come together and connect with Mars. Now they're both in the sign of Leo right now. So the Sun in Leo is where we shine our light in the most creative and positive and beneficial way. And of course, Mars is a fire planet, and being in Leo, which is a fire sign, is a good placement for Mars. So again, the Sun coming together with Mars, it's going to spark our energy, spark our intuition, spark our creative abilities or creative expression in some way. It's really going to allow us to move forward and shine our light very hugely, like in the best possible way as far as what we're supposed to be doing. So I feel like there's a lot of movement here. There's a lot of recognition as well with Sun connecting with Mars in Leo. So look to be appreciated and recognized for who you are and what you're doing out there in the world. Okay, on Friday and Saturday, that's, pretty much those are the main attractions for the week astrologically. But Friday and Saturday, I'll just mention that the moon is in Libra. The moon's going to travel through Libra in about 2.5 days, which it does through every sign of the zodiac. But as it's traveling through Libra on Friday and Saturday, the 28th and 29th, it's going to connect with Jupiter, then it's going to connect with Pluto, and then it's going to connect with Venus, and finally connect with Uranus. And so this is just a time where I think relationships are highlighted, our belief systems about relationships. There's going to be some sort of transformation about the emotional nature of our relationships. There might be some sort of surprise energy or sudden unexpected turn of events within relationships in our lives. And again, this could be romantic, could be business, family, or friendship. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the cards for the week and see what our message is from our angels and guides. So if we turn over the first card here, wow, okay, so we start with Major Arcana number 11, and this is Divine Justice. So in the traditional tarot, it is the Justice card, and you can see that the image here is of this beautiful woman. She's blindfolded and she's holding the scales of justice. So whenever we have major arcana show up in a reading, it really means that there's some sort of huge soul growth and evolution happening. So this is an important time for our soul. Now remember, the end of last week on Sunday, the 23rd, we actually had a new moon in Leo, okay? So that new moon in Leo was the start of a new beginning energy, a new creative energy, a new shining of our light energy. And also they're wanting me to mention again that as we move into August, the next month here, because we're coming up to the end of July here with this reading, and we're going to be moving into August for next week. This is when we have that new moon solar eclipse and that full moon lunar eclipse, which actually happens first before the new moon solar eclipse. But this is going to bring a lot of changing energies. And I bring this up because what comes to mind when I look at the Divine Justice card here is that things are going to start to rebalance. I mean, the karmic energies, the universal energies are starting to rebalance. We've gone through a lot already this year, a lot of changing circumstances, a lot of redirections, and I'm not saying that that is over yet, but there's the beginning, I feel the beginning of the rebalancing of energies. So by no means are we at the end of that rebalancing, but we're in the beginning stages of rebalancing those energies, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, the things that, again, the circumstances and situations, the relationship changes that we've been undergoing for the past few months, it's starting to right itself on a spiritually karmic level. And one thing that strikes me as I look at this is, again, that woman is blindfolded. So she cannot see, what's going on around her. She can maybe see within her own psyche, within her own soul, but she can't see the events or situations that are rebalancing. So to me, it feels like the message is that you may not readily see what's going on spiritually behind the scenes in this rebalancing of karmic energies. But again, things are rebalancing. You just have to trust and have faith that that is being done, that that rebalancing is taking place, even though you can't see it yet. You can't see what's happening with that rebalancing yet. But soon you'll be privy to that information. And maybe after Mercury retrograde is over, which is towards the end of August going into September, you might start to understand a little bit more how the puzzle pieces are starting to fit into place, or how things are unfolding. So let's take a look at the second card for the week. Okay, we have another major arcana. This is major arcana number 9, and in this deck it's called Reflection. And a lot of you can maybe guess by looking at the imagery of this card that this is the Hermit card in the traditional tarot deck. Okay, so in the Hermit card, it is about going within, finding the light within ourselves. It is about self-reflection and contemplation. It is about trust and faith. So it's this kind of inactive time period. So, you know, even though we're in this new moon cycle of the moon waxing and growing, and it's a time of new beginnings, I feel like, again, there's still this idea of, or this energy of, kind of going within. Again, connecting with our higher soul self, the divine essence of ourself, the divine part of ourself, and really doing a spiritual soul searching as far as who we really are, the divinity of who we really are, and where our power really lies. And although we do have that spiritual power within us, that we are co-creators with God, source energy. We are co-creators with the divine. So we have to work with that co-creating energy, that God energy, that universal mind energy. So the best way to do that is, again, find the light within yourself, which is why with this imagery here, we have the Hermit, and you can see at the end of his staff is where he has that lantern, and he's lighting up the darkness. He's lighting his way to see what's in front of him. And he may not be able to see very far in front of him, but he can see in the immediate vicinity what's going on. And that's sort of where we're at. We're maybe seeing in the immediate time or the immediate vicinity like what that very next step is, but we don't know far beyond that where to go. We don't know far beyond that what's going to take place or what's going to unfold, and that's okay. The Hermit has a level of trust and faith as well. Just like the Divine Justice card with the lady with the blindfold, she has to have faith and trust because she can't yet see what's going on outside of her or around her with this spiritual rebalancing of energies. So let's take a look at the last card and see what this says. Okay, so we have the 7 of crystals, and the 7 of crystals in the traditional tarot deck is the 7 of pentacles, or the 7 of earth. And we can see here in the imagery a young man. He's sitting on a carpet here, and he's got 7 crystals in front of him. Now, if you look closely, this man is looking down at the crystals. He's not looking around him. He's not looking behind him. He's not even looking in front of him. He's looking down at those crystals. And if you see in the background, there's actually a structure, a building, and people going to and fro that structure or building. And again, this person is not paying any attention to what's going on around him. He's totally engrossed in those 7 crystals that are right in front of him, on that mat in front of him. And in the typical 7 of crystals card, it's about planting seeds or having patience. You know, having kind of the mental patience as your seeds are planted and growing, but they haven't yet taken sprout. And he is unconcerned with what's going on around him. He's unconcerned with people behind him. He's unconcerned with the flurry of activity, of the circumstances that are surrounding him. He's only focused on those crystals. He's focused on those seeds that he's planted with his mind, with his thoughts, with his intentions, and almost like he's focusing positive intentions on them, or his focus on them, so that they grow, so that they expand, so that they take root and they sprout. So this is kind of a message, I feel, to where don't be overly engrossed in what's going on around you, the circumstances, the situations, the dramas, the people around you and what they're going through. And that doesn't mean not to have compassion or empathy or to help people, but it just means don't get drawn in too much with some of the drama and chaos and confusion around you. He's staying very focused on his intentions here because he wants his intentions to take root, sprout, grow. And I feel like this is telling us that that's where we need to go in this week. Again, the new moon in Leo just happened. So, you know, we've planted our seeds, our ideas and our intentions, and now it's time to give them positive thoughts, you know, to stay in a state of positivity in regards to our mind and our belief systems so that they grow in the best possible way without, again, concerning ourselves with the chaos or the confusion or the comings and goings of people and circumstances around us. Okay? All right, so let's go ahead and see what your special message card is, depending on your stone of choice. So, for those of you that chose the chiastolite. Okay, so let's tune in, take a deep breath, and call in all of the archangels of the highest vibration of light and ask for the message for chiastolite to come through. And you know what? This one on the bottom is really calling my attention. And this one says passion. And this is Archangel Haniel. And it says, trust and follow your renewed passion in your love life and career. Okay, I feel like this is definitely more in regards to our career path, our life path, and our destiny path. Okay, it doesn't mean that it can't be in regards to relationship, but I just feel like with the cards that we drew this week, that this is more about your goals, your ambitions, your life path, where you're going, who you want to be out in the world. And we need to find that, again, that renewed sense of passion. Archangel Haniel, if you call upon her, is someone that can help you to find that renewed sense of passion. Archangel Haniel is also an archangel that helps with us connecting with our psychic abilities or intuitions or healing abilities, and helps us to heal our subconscious patterns, so to speak. So there might be some subconscious patterns that you have yet to kind of heal, so you can call upon her for that. But one thing as far as passion is I feel like connecting with your creative self-expression, or you know, it doesn't even have to be something you're good at, but any sort of creative activity is going to kind of fuel or spark that sense of passion within you. So I feel like working on, you know, one step closer to your goal, or one step that's associated with a project that you're working on. Do something each and every day, even if it's just for a few minutes. And this is something that my friends and I have been talking about lately, actually, is doing something every day. Like if you're a writer, write just a little bit every day, even if you don't have as much time as usual, or maybe you don't feel up to it. Or another friend that I have, she actually does something entirely different, but she's working on creating mandalas on stones, as a creative project on the side. Again, just to fuel that sense of creative passion in her life so that other things can get moving forward. So again, connect with your inner passion by connecting with creative projects, dancing, painting, speaking, writing, cooking, anything that's creative is something that can assist you with connecting with your passion. All right, and then for those of you that chose the Desert Rose Selenite. Okay, Desert Rose Selenite, let's give these a shuffle here. I'm looking for the message for Desert Rose Selenite. This one's kind of coming out with my finger. So Desert Rose Selenite, leadership. I love this card. Leadership with Archangel Gabriel. It is time for you to assume your leadership power and position and lovingly guide others. Okay, new moon in Leo, Mars is in Leo, the sun is in Leo. This is all about shining your light, being a leader, taking charge, being creative again. And so I really feel that Archangel Gabriel here is emanating that energy. Take charge of your life. Now, maybe you need to be the leader of a group, or maybe you need to be the leader of your own business, an entrepreneur, someone that's in a sense self-employed. If you've been thinking about self-employment, this might be a card that's indicating a message for you to move forward with that. Take the next step towards that. Again, Mercury retrograde is going to give us some time to figure out all the details, but it's time to step forward. I feel like the solar plexus chakra is activated here. So this is our center of personal power. So in your meditation, focus on that color yellow, that golden yellow at the solar plexus chakra, or wear yellow, or eat yellow foods. Anything that can activate your sense of willpower, confidence, stamina, and again, shining your light. I feel like you're in a process right now of spreading your wings and really expanding yourself, expanding your business, or expanding who you are out in the world. So take those next steps. In doing so, you're definitely being supported with this. All right, and then for those of you that chose the ruby zoisite, so let's give these a shuffle. Ruby zoisite. Okay, so just not seeing it yet. Okay, this one is actually calling my attention. Ruby zoisite. Okay, this one says outdoors. And it says, Archangel Jophiel, go outside, get some fresh air, connect with nature to relieve stress and gain new creative ideas. So here we have that creative word again, that creative energy again. Now, this one to me just feels like, you know, nature is going to inspire you, okay? The animals, nature, the green grass, the fresh air, these are things that can inspire. When we get closed off for too long, when we stay in an office for too long, or if we work from home and we don't get outside or we don't get out and about, it kind of stifles our energy. If you think about being closed in an office or closed in your home for too long, the air gets a little stifling. And you know, if we don't open the windows or open the door and get some fresh air, if we don't go outside and take some nature walks and connect with the earth, connect with the planet, it actually feels like our energy is being stifled. So for you all, I feel like, again, getting outdoors is going to be highly beneficial. I feel like some of you have been feeling a little bit maybe lacking over the last few weeks in some physical energy. Again, getting outdoors is going to help to regain that sense of physical vitality. And again, it's going to spark your intuition. It's going to spark some ideas within you, some divine inspiration within you. I feel like Archangel Uriel, even though this is Archangel Jophiel, I feel like Archangel Uriel is also coming in with this particular message. So call upon Archangel Uriel for that divine inspiration. Archangel Jophiel is actually an archangel that helps us to recognize the beauty that's around us. And if we recognize the beauty that's around us, even in a world of chaos, in a world of confusion, if we recognize that beauty, it does help to inspire us, okay? It helps us to be more creative and feeling more positive. So Archangel Jophiel can assist us with recognizing what is beautiful. Maybe the flowers outside our window are beautiful. Maybe our pet, you know, is beautiful and inspires us. So again, call upon her to be reminded that there is beauty around us regardless. Let me see if there's anything else here. I feel like there's something with heart chakra energy here with this as well. Opening up the heart chakra even more to allow that unconditional love and to allow that feeling of beauty and to allow that feeling of creativity to come in even more. Again, shining your light from the heart chakra, not just shining your light from like the crown chakra or, you know, feeling that confidence of the solar plexus chakra, but shining that light from within the heart chakra area of unconditional love. Okay? All right, I hope you've liked this weekly angel card reading. If you like my readings, my soul reflection readings, my weekly and monthly readings, please subscribe to my channel. And also, you know, please share and comment. I love seeing all of your comments. I try to answer each and every one of your comments. Thank you to all of those who also follow me on Facebook under Colleen Lemma or my other page, Sacred Soul Empowerment, for the daily astrological and empowering posts. I love, again, feeling all your energy and support as you've given it to me so freely for so long, and I appreciate that so, so much. So I send you all much love, much light, and many, many angel blessings.